Hello students, welcome back to this online course of Water Resource Engineering. So in the previous lecture we have seen the various types of duty, flow duty, quantity duty or storage duty, what are the factors on which duty was depending, how we can improve the duty on field or the precaution that be we can be treating the irrigation water, the crop seasons, rabi season, kharif season, rabi crop, kharif crop, what were the dates, like rabi was starting from I think 1st October till 31st March, kharif 1st April to 30th September, the crops, like we have seen the various crops. So now today we are going to see certain important definitions which will be helpful in solving the problems while calculating the various type of discharge or depth of water required in the field. We will be using these definitions very frequently. So the first definition we are going to see is rabi kharif rabi ratio or crop ratio. So the area to be irrigated for rabi crop is generally more than that for kharif crop. So this ratio of proposed areas to be irrigated in kharif season to that in the rabi season is called kharif rabi ratio. So what is kharif rabi ratio? It is the ratio of areas to be irrigated during these particular crop seasons. So let us say in kharif season we are using like x hectares we are irrigating, and in rabi season we are irrigating y hectares. So this ratio x is to y is termed as kharif rabi ratio. This ratio is generally 1 is to 2, that is kharif area is one half of the rabi area, because in the first point itself we have seen the area to be irrigated for rabi crop is generally more. So rabi crop is more, so kharif is 1, rabi is 2. Generally this is average, it is not like mandatory. If in the question it is not mentioned, you can use 1 is to 2 ratio. So this is kharif rabi ratio. Second one is paleo irrigation. Sometimes in the initial stages, what is happening? Initial stages before the crop is sown, the land is very dry. So we have cultivated our crop and we have left the land fallow, without, like we are not sowing any crop for fixed amount of time, like there is gap between two particular cultivations. So this particularly happens at the time of sowing of rabi crop because of hot September. So in September, the like this I think September is going on, so weather is very dry, very hot. So land becomes very dry. So what is going to happen? Sorry. So the soil will be very dry. So in such cases, the soil is moistened with water so as to help in sowing of the crop. So before sowing, to make the soil moist so that it will be helpful in sowing the next crop. The next crop will be in September, we will be sowing the rabi crop. So to help in sowing or cultivating the rabi crops, we will be irrigating, or very small amount of water we will put in the field so that the soil will get moistened. Why we are doing so? So that the land can be easily used for sowing of the next crop. So this is known as paleo irrigation. Okay, this is also a type of irrigation only. So the third point is core watering. What is core watering? So till now we have seen, first was crop ratio or kharif rabi ratio, second is paleo irrigation. Now third one is core watering. The first watering which is given to a crop when the crop is few centimeters high is called core watering. So after paleo irrigation we have done, we have sown the crops and we have left it to grow few centimeters. So after the crop has grown few centimeters, we are applying water. So that first watering is termed as core watering. It is usually the maximum single watering followed by other waterings at usual intervals as required by drying of leaves. So this is the first and maximum, it is maximum single watering. We are using maximum water in the form of core watering, and after that whenever we feel that crops like leaves are getting dry or the crop is requiring more water, then we will at a particular amount of interval we will be supplying the water. The optimum depth for of core watering for different crops are different. So depending upon the crop, the core watering depth will also be changing. The core watering must be applied within a fixed limited period. Okay, so it should be applied, the core watering, from like sowing to the first watering. The gap should be fixed, and this is known as core period. If the plant fail to receive this water in time or in sufficient quantity, then they do suffer a significant loss. So we have to be very careful after sowing, like 10 days, 15 days, 1 week, whatever, depending upon the crop, we have to supply this. If we are able to we are fail to provide this water, then we will be like significant loss we have to face. The core period depends upon the climate. So if climate is very hot, so core watering will be done very soon. Or if it is like in the winters or in rainy season, if we are doing so, we can extend the period of core period, we can extend. It is less for humid climates and more for dry climates. So as I have told, fourth one is cash crops. So as the name suggests, cash crops, so we are cashing these crops, means we will be earning some money. So a cash crop may be defined as a crop which has to be encashed in the market for processing, etc., as it cannot be consumed directly by the cultivators. So some crops are like cotton is there, we cannot consume it. So like non-food crops, we can see they are cash crops because we have to process this crop so that we can encash them. All non-food crops are thus included in cash crops. Examples are jute, tea, cotton, tobacco, sugarcane. So tea is there, tea leaves, so we have to process to make it so that we can use it in our milk and make tea. Cotton, tobacco, so these are some examples of cash crops. Next one is crop rotation. What is crop rotation? When the same crop is grown again and again in the same field, the fertility of land gets reduced as the soil becomes deficient in plant foods favorable to that particular crop. So let us assume that we have sown like wheat. Let me just give example, like one farmer is there, so what he is doing, he is sowing or cultivating rice and wheat only. So if he is growing wheat, he is cutting, harvesting the wheat, and again if wheat will require some particular amount of nutrient for its growth, rice will also utilize some particular type of nutrient for its growth. So different crop will be requiring different nutrients. So if we are like first crop is wheat, second crop also wheat, so what is happening? So the land will become deficient of that particular nutrient which the wheat is using. So in this way, the land for the next like rotation, for if first we have cultivated and harvested, second again if we are sowing or cultivating wheat, what is going to happen? Nutrients available are less, so it will not be able to mature, or it will take more nutrients, or it will not be able to achieve its full maturity. So in order to enhance the fertility of the land and to make the soil regain its original structure, it is often found necessary and helpful to give some rest to the land. Okay, so we should not like if we are cultivating within 10 days, 15 days, we should not cultivate next crop. We have to give some time to land so that it can enhance it can, we can say, self heal itself, sorry, or it can prepare itself to make it nutrient rich for the next crop. So this can be achieved either by allowing the land to lie fallow without any cultivation for some time, or to grow crops which do not mainly require those salts or foods which were mainly required by the earlier grown crop. So how we can stop this deficiency of nutrients? First thing we can do, we can leave that land fallow. Fallow means we are not using that land for cultivation. So let us say we have just left the land for 2 months or 1 month, or like some significant amount of time we have to leave that land fallow. What is going to happen in this period? The soil will gain these nutrients. Or what we can do, we can if like some problem are there, we have to cultivate it. So we can cultivate a crop which is not requiring that particular amount of salt or nutrients which were used by the previous crop. So in that way, during this the second cycle, the crop will be utilizing some different nutrients and the soil will be gaining the previous nutrient. So there are two ways. So this method of growing different crops in rotation, one after the another, in the same field is called rotation of crop. Okay. The rotation of crop will help in extracting different food from the soil and thus avoiding the general deficiency of any particular type of element. So this we have discussed. Crop rotation will thus help in increasing the fertility of soil and reducing the disease and wastage due to insects, and hence increasing the overall crop yield. So deficiency is not there, so the crops will be fully matured, and in this way we can stop the wastage, we can prevent the diseases of the crop, and if these are not happening in the field, the crop yield is going to be more. So these were some important definitions. Now let us understand what is the optimum utilization of irrigation water. So if a crop is sown and produced under absolutely identical conditions using different amounts of water depths, the yield is found to be vary. Okay, so the same crop if cultivated in different conditions, so yield will be varying. So in first case it may yield more, or in second case it will yield less or more, depending upon the conditions. The yield increases with water, reaches a certain maximum value and then falls down. So if we are plotting the water depth and yield, what we are seeing, so yield with the increase of water depth, yield is going to increase first, reaches a maximum value. So this point is corresponding to the maximum yield. After this point, if we are providing more water, okay, more water is provided, but what is happening, yield is becoming less than this point. So the yield increases with water, increases, reaches a certain maximum and then falls down. The quantity of water at which the yield is maximum is called the optimum water depth. So this water depth at which we are producing or we are getting maximum yield is called optimum water depth. Therefore, optimum utilization of irrigation generally means getting maximum yield with any amount of water. So if for particular or depth we are getting maximum yield, then that depth we are telling or we are terming as optimum depth. To achieve economy in the use of water, it is necessary that the farmers be made acquainted with the fact that only a certain fixed amount of water gives best result. More than that quantity as well as less than that quantity reduces the yield. So we should educate our farmers that if we are providing more water, it is not beneficial for us, because if we are providing the depth of water less than optimum depth or more than optimum depth, we will be getting less yield. So we have to provide the water depth somewhere around optimum depth for that particular crop. Why we are doing so? So that we can get the maximum yield. Farmers should be encouraged to line their water course, thereby saving at least 20% of the costly irrigation water which can be used to irrigate extra additional field. So we should educate the farmers. First thing what we have to teach them, that like it is a general misconception that if we are providing more amount of water we will be getting more yield, but it is not like that. You can see from this graph, if we are we are providing more and more water, after this point what is happening, yield is getting less. We are not getting the maximum yield which we were expecting. So farmers should be educated that use optimum depth of water, and they should line their canals which are being constructed in their field. Why? So that they can prevent the losses, percolation, seepage losses, so that the water they have saved by lining can be used for additional irrigation. So this is all about optimum utilization of water. I think some of you have this misconception, like if more amount of water yields more productivity. So this is not correct. So in the next lecture we are going to see various types of efficiencies, how efficient, how is the knowledge of efficiency is going to help in the whole irrigation process. So this is all for today. Thank you.